Hi, I'm Lou, another episode of My Car Story. I'm here with Bob. Bob, what's your last name?
Bob Burnham from Elburn, Illinois.
Bob Burnham, and Bob's got one of the cars. When I talked to the judges, I said, tell me a little Porscheology, who should I video? He said, Bob, video your car.
Great.
So quite the honor to be with you. Let me grab the camera. Bob, tell us, first of all, what event are we at here?
We're at the first Concours for the Porsche Club of America Chicago region.
And this is going to be great, and we've got a great
It
car.
is.
Let's take a look over your shoulder. What did you bring here today?
This is our 1964 Porsche 356C that we purchased in 1994. So we've had it 22 years.
And the 356C, you were sharing with me, what does that designate, the C? Meaning, tell me a little bit how that works. 356.
Right. The first 356s in the early 50s were just 356, and then they made some changes, and in the mid 50s, and they called them 356A, and that stayed until the 1960, and then it went more changes. They went to a B, and then 64 and 65 they made some final changes, and they called it a C. So it's a model designation, so you know that the model is a little bit different than the previous. This model was the last of the 356s. 64 and 65 were the last 2 years of 356s, and then they went to the infamous 911.
And tell me about these turn signals. What do they call those?
Well, they're called beehives. They're turn signals. In America, they were clear white lens, and in Europe, they were orange lens.
Did not know that.
And
All right.
also, if you look at the hubcaps, you can always tell a C from every other Porsche 356. The hubcap is flat. That means it has disc brakes. All other 356s prior to that have a dimple in the hubcap.
Is that right?
And that means they have drum brakes.
That's what we're talking about, flat. Okay, and those are gorgeous. They're just wonderfully reflective. Let's take a look at the back of the car.
Sure.
And you've had this one, you said, for 22 years.
We've had it for 22 years. Yes. It was, the body and the engine were restored actually in 1991 by a previous owner. It's only had 4 owners. We're the 4th. We did the interior in 2000. But it's what you would call an older restoration, but it only has 5,000 miles on it in the last 22 years. So it's not a lot of miles.
It's obviously the C. And interesting, there's kind of a radiator inside there. You know, I thought this would be straight air, but you can see that inside there.
Well, it is pretty much straight air
Yeah.
that comes out. That's just a cover so water doesn't get on the engine. when
That
it
makes
rains.
sense. But tell me about this exhaust.
Yeah, the exhaust pipes are actually built into the rear bumpers, which makes a really cool design feature. You just don't have pipes hanging out of it.
And Reitz is...
And Reitz is my wife, Rita.
She loves the car. That helped sell it.
She loves the car, and to make her happy, because I kind of bought it for her. Although
Yeah.
she doesn't drive it very much.
But it's still
We
hers.
named it Rita 64.
There you go. So it's named after her. Let's pop the interior for a minute. We'll also take a look at the under the.
I was wondering if you would mind showing us the engine.
Yeah.
You want to see the engine?
Yeah. Let's take a look at it. We've got
Yeah,
fans
the
back
release
here.
is inside. And
Wow.
this
That
engine
clean.
it's the original engine. The whole car is a matching numbers car, as we call it. Original engine, original transmission. And this engine, when the car was restored, was actually sent to Cupertino, California to a famous Porsche engine rebuilder called Harry Pello. And he had a way of doing it, an excellent way of doing it, and he would opened up the engine to a little bit bigger, and we also added 2 Weber carburetors, so you get a little bit more horsepower, a little bit more power.
I'm going to take a look at the interior.
The interior is all leather with square weave carpeting, which is original.
Wow. Wow.
The car actually came with beige vinyl, and we changed it to beige leather.
That is spectacular.
The body was actually made by a company named Carmen, as you can see on the VIN plate. Porsche outsourced the body making to their specifications because they didn't have the space, actually.
Here's a speaker. What's this handle for?
That's the parking brake.
Okay, parking brake.
Has a Blaupunkt AM FM radio.
Oh, wow, it looks just
And
fantastic.
it's a 6-volt car.
Let's start her up, please.
Sure.
any gift from the kid.
Bob, let's shut her off for a moment, if you would. Wow, sounds really, really smooth.
Sounds like an air-cooled engine, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You don't hear that sound anymore.
Sounds great. How do you feel when you're driving this?
Oh, I drive it on days like today, and it's just phenomenal. You can just cruise down the highway, you just forget about everything, and it's a wonderful car to drive. It's not hard to drive at all. It's easy to shift. It just tools right along, and on a day like today, it's absolutely fabulous.
What's people's reactions when they see your car coming?
Double takes. A lot of people go, "What is that?" Well, a lot of people will know it. A lot of kids love to give a thumbs up whenever they see this.
That is great.
That's a real enjoyable part. But taking it to a Concours like this is a lot of fun too.
Hey, thanks so much for being on My Car Story and sharing your car.
You're welcome. Glad to be here. Glad to be with you today.
Thank you.
Thank you.